Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up, and it's very overdue because March ended over a week ago. Actually, a week ago tomorrow. Or at least when I'm filming this. I don't know when it'll be up for sure. This month was a decent reading month for me. I ended up with 6 books, I believe. Yeah, I read 6 books. The first one I read was The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, and I marked a lot of stuff, but it's not necessarily things I liked. It's just I considered doing a review on it, and I still might do a review on it, but I'm really bad at reviewing books. Like, I can't even review them on Goodreads. It's just not my strong suit. So I don't know if I don't know if I'll ever do book reviews on this channel, which is kind of something that you do with BookTube. But it's just something that's so hard for me, and I'm so bad at it. But maybe if I do a couple more books, read them, and actually, like, mark stuff, I might do some small, like, very quick reviews and put them all into one video. If you'd like to see that, just let me know. If you don't want to see it, don't tell me, because I don't want to see it. But this book was disappointing because it was nowhere near as good as the movie, and I don't think I will ever say that again in my life. But the movie was so much better. It just had so much more in it. I don't know if you've seen the movie. You probably have. But the first, like, 30 minutes or more is explaining the becoming of Allie and Noah's relationship when they're teenagers. And literally in this book, it spends maybe 2 pages discussing what happens. And while they're telling that part, Allie isn't even named yet. It's just Noah saying, I met this girl, we dated, we did it, we broke up, that's it. Like, that's it. It's just not near as descriptive. The whole entire book, basically, the first half is spent talking about when Allie comes to town for those 2 days, and then the last half is talking about them being in the nursing home dying. So it was quite a disappointment, but there were parts that I liked, so I did give it 3 out of 5 stars, though I think it's more of a 2.5. Okay, after I discussed that for so long, the next book I read, I don't have a whole lot to say, and that is Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. And I read this for school. Last year I read Romeo and Juliet. This year I read Julius Caesar, and I like Julius Caesar better than Romeo and Juliet, although I do like Romeo and Juliet also. This one I found more interesting simply because I could go home and, like, Google what was actually going on in this time and relate it back to the book. I was quite fond of several of the characters, so I think that helped a lot. But I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars because no matter what, if I read a book for school, I'm instantly going to at least give it 4 stars because I can't like a book if I read it for school. The next book I read is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and I own this book, but I'm lending it out to a friend right now. I totally loved this book. I thought I wasn't going to like it, because people had told me I wasn't going to like it, but I was really excited to get it, and it was, like, on the top of my to-read list, so when I bought it at Goodwill, I was like, I have to read this right now, and I read it, and I really liked it. It was really weird sometimes, though. There were some times where I was like, who are you? What kind of person writes about that? Like, what are you doing? But overall, it was totally intriguing, and I was into it the whole time, and actually read it pretty quickly, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, you all are going to be so excited about, because I'm very late to this game, and that is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I'm not excited, because I'm very sad. I was very disappointed. Okay, not very. I was disappointed. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I know most people are giving it like 10 out of 5 stars. I think the fact that it was so hyped up is what made me dislike it. I have this weird thing where if something is popular, I can't like it. And it's not me trying to be cool or be a hipster or go against society or whatever. I can't. There's, like, some weird thing in my brain that, like, clicks on the second something becomes popular. For example, Divergent. If I hadn't read it before it became popular, I would probably not like it either. But I do like it because I read it before it became popular. It's different if it's popular on BookTube. If it's simply popular on BookTube, that's cool because y'all are my homies. But when everybody, especially the people at my school, start liking something, it's like that part of my brain just clicks. So it wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be due to what everyone was saying. I didn't cry, but that's only because I was in a school classroom and I didn't want to cry in the middle of school. If I would have been at home, I totally would have bawled. I don't know. I think another major reason that I gave it only 4 stars was because I couldn't stand Hazel. Well, I wouldn't say couldn't stand. I really didn't care for Hazel. I loved Augustus. I loved him. But with Hazel, sometimes I was like, shut up. Like, she just annoyed me so bad sometimes. But yeah, I guess I should stop talking about it because this video is going to be so long because I have so much to say on so many of these books because it was not a very positive reading month for me. But yeah, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read I absolutely loved, and that was The Adoration of Jenna Fox by Mary Pearson. And I didn't think I was going to like it because it's kind of like a medical science fiction kind of futuristic novel. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I absolutely loved it. There's so many twists and turns, and she just works the plot so well, and I flew through it. I read it in like a day and a quarter or something like that. And I loved it. Please go read this book. It's short too. Please go read it. Please. I think it might maybe still be on Book Outlet. That's where I got it. There's 2 more books in this trilogy. However, they're not from the same point of view. They're not from the point of view of the girl who is in this book. She's in the books, she's just not the main character, which is kind of disappointing. But hopefully I will get those books soon. The final book that I read this month is Pretties by Scott Westerfeld, and this is the sequel to Uglies, which I read last month, and in my wrap-up I talked about how much I disliked it. Pretties was a whole lot better. I enjoyed it a lot more, mainly because it didn't spend the whole first half of the book building the world, because the world already exists. There's a love triangle in this book, and I'm torn. I am so torn. So majorly torn between the 2. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I really don't. But I did like this book, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So those are all the books that I read in the month of March. This was probably a pretty negative Nancy video, and you're probably going to hate me because of my kind of downer review of The Fault in Our Stars. But don't get me wrong, it was good. Yeah, March was just not the best month for me. I bought a bunch of good books, but I didn't read a whole bunch of good... Actually, I read a whole bunch of good books. It was just the disappointment from The Notebook because of the hype that the movie has, and the disappointment from The Fault in Our Stars simply because of the hype that the book has, just like brought me down. And the fact that I'm in a reading slump makes me just really negative right now. I'm just mad about everything. But I hope you enjoyed this review, and I would love to see your reviews, so you can either comment the link below or you can just tell me what you read. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!